Good morning, fellas.
What's up, guys? NFL kickoff, baby.
That's right.
Sunday
Let's
kickoff.
go.
Let's do this.
Everybody, welcome to the IDP 411 co-host Jordan Rains and the Dynasty Chef Steve. I'm Jared Gray.
What's up, guys?
Morning, morning.
Let's go.
Yep, we're here to answer some questions, talk some matchups, and just all around celebrate the Christmas day that it is.
The Christmas day that I couldn't
Merry
sleep last night.
Christmas.
Could not
Merry
sleep last
football
night.
mess.
Football mess.
I stayed up,
Yeah.
woke up, just couldn't wait till this morning, guys.
Oh yeah, I could barely sleep last night. I kept waking up, and I was like, "Don't look at your clock because I know it's not, morning yet." Like.
All right, we got a full lineup today. Obviously, we're going to do some Q&As, do some bold predictions, some little start sit, from you guys and me, and do a little. I guess the biggest question for me to start with you today, Jordan,
I'm ready.
is
Hit me.
who is your main start for IDP today?
My main start. Well, I mean, start out all your studs, but a guy that I think is going to have a big week, might lead all defensive linemen in IDP points, is my boy DeForest Buckner. I've been on him all year. I'm sticking with him today against the Bucs offensive line that is not great. In a game where Nick Bosa apparently is healthy, but we'll see if he can stay on the field the whole time or how they choose to deploy him since he missed a lot of training camp with injury. And D Ford will be out there, but well, I guess we have to see if the inactives come out actually on him. I haven't heard anything, but he should be out there too. But anyway, DeForest Buckner's the guy on that line that you can trust, and he's going to disrupt. And he's going to make some plays happen today. I think could lead all defensive linemen IDP points. So there's my start of the week, I guess you could call it.
I agree. I really like DeForest Buckner. I think he's going to have a solid week. I think he's going to be one of the main guys. If Tampa Bay's as bad as they were against Cleveland in the preseason, then yeah, I would start DeForest Buckner all day. I like that one a lot. For me, I'm going to go a little separate. I think Leighton Vander Esch is the one guy for me that I'm going to have to go grab because I think they're going to try to dump to Saquon all day. I think they're going to spy him like crazy. And I don't see Sterling Shepard as a main, obviously being an OU fan, I've always followed him. So I don't see him as a big deep threat, but he runs a great slant pattern, which means you're going to run him right into the linebackers. Thanks. Appreciate it. I have Leighton Vander Esch. So
pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, I really like that one. I like Leighton Vander Esch to be maybe top 3 linebacker all year, not just right now. People have been trying to
one of the craziest things about him, I didn't even really realize this. I mean, I guess I should have noticed it. He had the second most solo tackles in the league last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
He played 76% of snaps. 76. And these are the guys, the rest of the list I'm looking at right now on Expand the Box Scores IDP leaderboard, but all the rest of the guys who had over 100 played 98% of snaps at least. And there's not another guy under the 90% of snaps until you get down to what we got here, down to close to like leaderboard number 15, 20. Like he was insane when he was on the field.
Yeah, he kind of went bonkers.
And now he's like earned the starting role, and he's not going to come off the field. I mean, at least I don't think he is. So I mean, his tackle, no, he's probably going to lead the league in solo tackles this year. I got a feeling.
I've got a good feeling about that too. Obviously, he was only second to Darius Leonard.
Yeah,
and Darius Leonard played almost 30% more than he did. So that's crazy to me. He didn't get a lot of love because of who was in front of him. So LV was the guy. I'm with you, 100% with you on that one. Obviously, we're going to get some point where we're going to have some comments and different aspects. And
I got a linebacker start that I'm starting in several leagues very, very confidently today. That's Miles Jack. I know some people don't really seem to like him for whatever reason, which is fine. I mean, you don't have to like him, but he's going to play 99% of snaps this year too, probably. He played 100% of snaps last year. And now the main primary tackler on his own team, Telvin Smith, is no longer there. So he's got that role where he's going to be expected to do more and produce, and I think he's going to step up. I mean, he just got paid that big contract. He's like the third highest paid linebacker now.
Yep.
So you got it made in the shade. Your defense is going to be on the field. You got a little chip on their shoulder, I think, after coming off that deep playoff run 2 years ago, and then last year just kind of getting beat up, in games. I think that they're going to be motivated, and I think that against Kansas City, who's going to move the chains, he's going to have a lot of opportunity to make tackles. Maybe get some sacks. Not sacks, maybe get a sack. But we'll see, I guess. But I got Miles Jack slotted in as a top. On my rankings, I think he was top 10 for the week. He was 12 for the week in my rankings for this week, so I'm pretty confident in him. And I think, like you said, he could be up there with Leighton Vander Esch, maybe top 3. Who knows? We're gonna find out soon, though. Speaking of the Chiefs,
this guy loves his Chiefs. For me, I'm gonna have to go with big one is because I think they're going to pass the ball a lot, and I think one of the best coverage linebackers that gets no love is Jayon Brown against Cleveland. Now, I love Cleveland. I think that they're going to beat the spread completely. I expect them to show out. We'll see what happens. But Jayon Brown is the guy, he's calling plays on the defense now. He's going to be a guy that I've been high on for a very long time. So we'll see exactly what we go with there and what ends up happening.
I have him in my top 5 for this week. Yeah, he came in at number 5. I think I agree with you. He's another guy that's going to be on the field a lot against a team that's going to keep moving the chains. There's going to be a lot of third downs that probably end up getting converted, more tackling opportunities. And, I mean, he's stepping into a role, that he kind of did last year. And I think he's going to pick up right where he left off.
Yeah, with you 100%. Kind of one of those weird things that.
So who's your D-line starter of the week?
My D-line, I know we're big on that one, but it's pretty easy for me.
There's a lot of good matchups this week. I mean,
there is some great matchups.
It seems like low-hanging fruit, but it seems like there's a lot of low-hanging fruit this week at DL.
I'm going to go with a guy that I think is going to be probably the chance to be the main guy all season, and that's Myles Garrett.
There you go.
I don't trust Tennessee's offense overall. I do think that he's going to get a lot of playing time. I think he's got a good chance to be, defensive player of the year. So if for somebody that's like that, then I fully expect him to ball out today. I don't think that a guy that's really flying under the radar is somebody that you've always been high on for a long time. Obviously, he's played, at Kansas City, is Houston.
Justin Houston.
I think he gives them a lot of dynamic, and I don't think they're going to be I think they're going to be on the field a lot more than they used to be because of that.
Yeah, I kind of moved him down a little in my rankings after the luck. I started moving him down just a little bit before the luck thing because, he was still injured. So there was a little bit of worry. So I moved him down a little bit in my week 1 rankings. Then the luck news happened. And I was like, man, he's probably not going to be able to just rush the passer as much anymore. He's not going to be in those good game scripts where they're asking him to do that quite as much. But like you said, now that luck's gone, it's almost like, well, he's going to be on the field more, so it almost kind of balances it out. I'm with you there. Only thing is, I know that Chargers' offensive line is a lot better than it used to be, so he might have a little bit more trouble. But, I mean, also he faced them twice a year for, the last 5 seasons. So
I'm with you on that, and that's why I really like Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
Joey Bosa always seems to be hurt. Nick Bosa always seems to be hurt. I said it months and months ago that I'm not a Bosa fan because I just feel like they keep getting hurt. And a guy that you've been high on for sure is without a doubt, and I love who they're playing today, even though I think the Patriots are going to win, is TJ Watt. He's going to ball out this year, and he's hard to handle, especially with them adding Devin Bush. The Patriots are going to have to look at Devin Bush, and I think that gives TJ Watt just that much more of an opening. And that's a big deal to me. So,
yeah. What it's not really IDP related, but what are your thoughts on this whole AB thing? I've kind of just been avoiding the conversation because to me, I don't know. It's just kind of ridiculous. It's like tabloid nonsense. But I mean, I guess he's going to play football for the Patriots now.
Yeah, obviously, I'm a Patriots fan.
Third team in a year. We like to make fun of Carlos Hyde for having that on his reputation, but it seems like a good thing for AB. What do I know?
I mean, my thing with AB, I mean, he's a stud. It does seem like
it seems like a mess. I mean, is he going to mesh on the Patriots? Like, what he does doesn't seem like it's what the Patriots allow people to do.
He is a mess, dude. I mean, it's just the facts. He is a mess.
No matter what you do on the field, it's still.
I mean, but you know what it is? He's going to the one team that can probably control him, and that's Bill Belichick, because do your job is their main focus, right? That's their phrase, do your job. I mean, if you can get guys like Randy Moss, who was doing whatever. Ryan just chimed in about the Antonio Brown thing. We all wish he was playing this week too, because they're playing Pittsburgh. But he's going to be sitting on the sideline like, what's up, bitches, right?
Golly, I wish he would be playing. Oh, man. I would love to see him just get laid out by –
I mean, just watch him burning Joe Hayden all day would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But Joe Hayden just signed a big contract. Nobody really talks about Joe Hayden, but he's always been a –
Hey, hot take. Steelers are going to win tonight by a touchdown. How's that? How do you like them apples?
I'll take that bet all day. You're playing at Foxborough? You must be high as a kite right now.
I don't make bets. No, I think they might come out there and give old Brady a little trouble.
Well, I'll tell you this. Obviously with the
this is now a Steelers revenge game against Antonio Brown.
I'll agree with that to a point.
They're like, you think you're on the best team in football? We're gonna go beat you week 1. How's that?
I do like Patrick Chung not playing for Juju. However, Stephon Gilmore is going to be, without a doubt, playing him. Stephon Gilmore is one of the best corners in the league. Nobody can argue with me. Guy's a baller. I really like that matchup. That'll be fun to watch, which means whoever ends up guarding either Washington or Dante Moncrief, that could be a fun battle to watch over there, and I think that's something that Tom Brady will try to exploit. That Ben Roethlisberger is trying to exploit. To where the other side, you don't know what is going to happen. I'd love to see how Devin Bush is used today. I think he's going to be all over the place. I love Edmonds in the back. I think that's that's my player that I'm looking at.
Terrell Edmonds
in the back. Yep.
Yeah, he was kind of meh last year, but I think he could take a big step forward. I mean, especially given his pedigree. So
for sure.
What do you think the snap count's going to look like today for Jadeveon Clowney? I know that's kind of like a hard question. I mean, we don't really know anything, but just what are your thoughts? What do you think?
So obviously, I think that he's going to get some fair share, and like we talked about the other day, that's the main reason I like LJ Colliers, because I don't see throwing him in, but he's still Clowney, right? He was a first-round draft pick for a reason. But I don't think that
number 1 overall, right?
Was he number 1?
I think so.
I know he's top 5. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
He might have been number 1 overall.
Bengals offensive line sucks. He probably won't play a lot of snaps, but I could see him. But although Pete Carroll Pete Carroll might just throw him out there and make him play all the snaps.
They're playing the Bengals, so maybe he'd just get out. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they don't play a lot of snaps because they just, for every third down, they're just leaving the field,
Yeah, you'd figure, the one thing that you need to do is protect your quarterback, and your star running back is get a offensive line, and that's where the difference in Cleveland went and did that the Bengals didn't, and that's why the Bengals are going to be last in the division.
The Bengals tried. They tried. They drafted a guy, he got hurt, and then their other guy that was like their better guy that they just acquired, I forget his name, didn't he get hurt too? So they had a better line on paper, 4 months ago.
Their best guy retired, so
yeah,
that definitely hurt them. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't know, man. Somebody asked me yesterday if I thought the Seahawks were going to blow them out. I don't believe that they're going to blow them out. Seattle's one of the toughest places to play in football. Probably second, in my opinion. Kansas City or Foxborough is number 1 and number 2, and then Seattle, just because the crowd gets so loud. I
Yeah.
hate Seattle football fans in general, though. Like, I've got a lot of Seattle friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the really good fans who really know their team, awesome, great. But there's a lot of fans that can tell you 5 players on the team, and that drives me bonkers. I mean, if
Yeah.
that's your team,
You
oh,
should
like,
know
oh,
a
we
few
got
more
Russell
people.
Wilson, right? I mean,
Everybody should
that's
know that name.
yeah. So that's just how that goes, and it's pretty funny when you really talk about those guys.
Yeah.
I do like the JD. Back to the question, Jadavion Clowney, how many snaps I think he's gonna get? Probably 30, 35, I think. Um, unless there's a long drive, which nobody expects out of the Bengals. But if that's the case, then some passing downs. But again, I think Mixon still has a pretty good game. I still think he's plays well
Well,
against them.
yeah, he's gonna have to. I mean, he's like we were talking before the show. He's pretty much the only offense that the Bengals have besides
It's
Tyler
just
Boyd.
that's it. And
Um,
nobody trusts Andy Dalton. I don't care. I don't know how he's still the starting quarterback there. Maybe they're just
I have a
waiting
little
on.
bit more faith in Dalton than most people. I'll be honest.
That dude's a turn. I watched him turn the ball over 4 times in the playoff game in back to back to back to back series. So there's that. I
No,
think
just
that
one time.
trash. So like that pick. I do like LJ Collier to play a little bit more. Um, a guy who I'm interested to see play, and I don't know how much he's going to play because of where he's at, is Ben Banigou at the Colts.
Yeah, against those Chargers. Yeah, him and Houston it'll be interesting to see how they deploy them off the edge if they do it together or if he's backing them up. Because I know they were going to move. I've read that they were moving Autry out to edge instead of tackle.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's reflected in the IDP leagues yet, or if it really matters unless you're on MFL. I don't have Autry in any of my leagues, so I have not really monitored it that closely. Unfortunately, I'll be honest with you. But I did see that I think I saw that in Yahoo where he was moved over to a D end.
yeah, I'm with you. I just hope he gets some playing time. Just for my personal reason, I watched him. He led the all of college football last year in quarterback hurries, so that's why I'm interested to see how he plays in the pros. Don't know how much playing time he's going to really get. I don't know. They've been really high on him, so it's going to be interesting to see how Dallas does. LV, Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, and then the old guy. So, which I've
The old
never
guy needs
liked.
to take a seat.
Yeah, it's time. I mean,
Pretty
they're
simple.
too stout. They're too stout, and I think they're a player away. A person that did. I never got this, but did Eric Berry ever sign with anybody?
I don't think so.
Which is crazy, right? Especially with the Patrick Chung stuff going on. You got players going down at safety all over the place, which makes the Chargers group so fun to watch because you get to see Adrian Phillips and Nasir Adderley next to each other. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
no,
awesome.
he did not sign anywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Eric Berry is elite, and I think that him just the injuries, but he's got such a great story with cancer. I say Pittsburgh should pick him up that way. They have 2 cancer survivors on their team, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
That James Conner is one of the greatest stories in football. If you ever knew that.
Yeah, and he's just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, he's so beast. I'm trying to trade for him in a different league. I'm kind of hoping Chris Carson goes off today so I can actually trade for him. So,
Dude, Chris Carson is going to go off today.
Yeah, he should against the Bengals. Yeah,
he will.
But does he go off all year is the question.
Yes.
So,
when you're getting 20 plus carries a game, you will go off more
I
than
do like that
off.
Mike Davis is gone. I think that helps him.
Yeah. And Rashad Penny has been, the best word to describe Rashad Penny is underwhelming.
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing overwhelming about him is his ADP in the actual NFL draft.
Well, speaking of ADP, my next question to you for today would be who plays out their ADP today?
I'm going to go with, who outplays their ADP today? Well, I kind of already said Miles Jack earlier, but I think I might go with Miles Jack again because I did 2 or 3 drafts this last weekend, and we're talking almost a 20th round, I've already got Leighton Vander Esch, Levante David, like Jalen Smith, and Miles Jack is still sitting there in some of these leagues, and he's going off the board, or he was going off the board like the 20-plus linebacker. It almost felt
That's
like I'd have to
crazy
go
to
back
me.
and look. I know exactly, and it's just there's this whole thing in the community where it's like he's been underwhelming. That's fine, but
But
he
Telvin
just got
Smith's gone.
paid. Yeah, exactly. Their tackle opportunities just went up, and you're the one of the leaders on this team now. I mean, drafted there, you just got paid there. I think that he's going to go out and ball today against Kansas City. Maybe that doesn't mean they win the game or their defense looks special, but for IDP purposes, I think he, the individual, is going to have a terrific game.
I
So,
agree. I'm a big fan. I really like Miles Jack in general. I think he outplays his ADP especially people aren't realizing how good he is and where he's at. The fact that Telvin Smith is gone, and that's bonkers to me. I just don't see why you
well,
don't look at him.
yeah, to have a breakout this year. If you don't think he's going to have a breakout this year, I mean, should you ever really draft him then? I don't know. It was just crazy to me that I got him as like my linebacker 3 or 4. And I mean, that's,
What's crazy to me is
40,
how
50
far
pick difference between the
I've
first one
watched.
and him.
I've watched a top 5 linebacker from last year getting drafted at like the 12th, 15th, 18th pick is Corey Littleton. I just don't get that to me. Like, why is he dropping back so far? This guy got a chance to play last year. I believe he finished top 3 actually,
Yeah,
maybe
and
even
tackles
yeah.
for a linebacker. Let me check real quick.
Just fantasy, football in general for linebackers behind Darius Leonard. Dude went off. So to be a guy who was drafted so late, and I for sure think he's a top 10 linebacker this week against Carolina, and I totally expect him to show out. He's a guy that I definitely am starting. I'm all over. Expect him to blow out. Another guy for me, without a doubt, and because last year he was a rookie, and I was high on him last year in my rookie IDP 411. It without a doubt is Justin Reed because everybody left. Kareem Jackson's gone.
Oh,
Tyrann
yeah.
Matthew's gone. Right. This kid finally gets a chance to show who he really is in his second season.
And he
And
showed some of that last year. And he
yeah, I
had
mean
that big pick in the playoffs, right?
and then he also had a pick 6 from the 2-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 98-yard return for a touchdown. And that kid is for real.
Yeah.
And
man, you want to hear something crazy? I didn't realize this. Corey Littleton had 12 passes defended last year.
Yeah.
Which tied him for the lead with Tremaine Edmonds. Damn, I did not realize that he was that good in coverage or that good at knocking passes away at least.
Yeah, so that's another good question. I have
That's
Tremaine Edmonds.
huge.
We were talking offline about I have a single player IDP lead, which I don't like, by the way, but I've been in this league for 10 years or 15 years. And if I can get them to go to IDP, I'll probably kill everybody in the league because none of them play IDP. But I'm going to try to push that next year. The biggest thing for that one is I have Tremaine Edmonds, and you won't believe this. Somebody dropped Deion Jones.
Dang.
But this week, I think Tremaine Edmonds is the right play. Deion Jones against the Vikings, I don't know if I love it as much.
Yeah, I think
because
that
that
you
offensive
might be
line,
onto something.
Because that offensive line is so much better than the Vikings. So this week, I'm going to play Tremaine Edmonds in that one player IDP league.
Le'Veon Bell's a little rusty too. I don't see him breaking through that front 7 very often today. I see him getting tackled every 3, 4, 5 yards pretty much, but I could see him getting 20 plus carries right out the gates. So that's a lot of tackles right there.
Let it happen. Ed Oliver breaks up the line. Tremaine Edmonds comes in and just wrecks house. So I've said that ever since Ed Oliver got drafted there.
That's the thing with one player IDP leagues is a stud, an absolute stud, 100%. Deion Jones is on the waivers because if you are playing matchups or or doing something like that, he doesn't have that kind of value. I think that's one of the things a lot of people when they get into IDP leagues that they don't like is a lot of them start with 1 or 2, and it's just there's no real element of anything, and it's just I hope this single player does something useful today. Whenever you have a full team, you actually have to build a roster. Like, okay, if I take high upside DL, guys, I have to get, bread and butter tackling machines at linebacker, and I have to get them late though because I'm passing on them to get these high end defensive ends, and it adds so much more of a fun element to fantasy football. So yeah, I kind of saw. I mean, like I'm basically lamenting right now that Deion Jones is on the waivers in an IDP league somewhere right now, just because of the way it's set up.
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean,
Tragedy, bro.
it
Tragedy.
is tragedy. But I mean, for me, I know like as soon as he dropped him, I was like, oh, I'm going right. And then I looked at the matchup.
Yeah, think about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn. Like in any other league, I would drop. You're dropping all kinds of people to get him, but in
For
a one
sure.
IDP league, what's he really worth?
Okay, so I'm going to give you my top 5 linebackers of the week. Obviously, we can. I told you Leighton Van Der Esch was going to be in there, but in this group, Darius Leonard, Luke Kuechly, Leighton Van Der Esch, Tremaine Edmonds, Bobby Wagner, Corey Littleton, Deion Jones are right there in a mix.
Nice. I was surprised
For me.
CJ Mosley didn't make it in there.
So CJ Mosley number 10 for me.
Gotcha.
And that's for all IDP. I still have Aaron Donald up very high.
Okay, I got you. All IDP.
Yep. I have Blake Martinez up, who had a monster game. You talked about him.
Yeah,
7 tackles and a sack.
I had him ranked at number 2 linebacker on the week, so he did me right. I had Roquan Smith as like a top 5, and he went out and put up 4 tackles, so he kind of hurt me. But we'll see how the rest of them turn out.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a fun one. I just a little weird about not going to grab Deion Jones, and I had to bring that up to you guys because he is on the waiver wire, but it's just a 1-player league, so it's a tough one to not go after. Again, guys, if you guys have any comments, Ryan at 22 mentioned he is the only comment we got so far. Guys, ask questions. That's what we're here for.
Hit us with some questions. We just want to give a shout out to the Fulltime Fantasy Podcast Network. We're getting some things set up. Hopefully, we'll get our first episode over to them this week. An official episode. This is just live stream. So we'll have some stuff to digest after today's games. We'll have a little bit more to break down, a little less speculation, a little bit more analysis, I guess is the right word.
Also wanted to give a little thanks to my guy, follow him, Alejandro _freelance on Twitter. He designed all of our, screens and stuff like this, our cartoonish little graphic we got here. Go check him out. Good dude. I've known him for a very long time, and he knocked this out in less than a week for me. So give it a check. Pretty cool.
Yep. I don't know if anybody out there, subscribes to some of these premium statistics things, but we recently got hooked up with Expand the Box Score. They have a show, or they do one of the guys is a host on one of the shows in our network, and they have some really cool stats back here. I'm looking at their IDP leaderboard. It's pretty awesome. You can like adjust the ranges on what you want to look at. So if you want to look at guys that just had 5 sacks between the weeks of 2 and 8, like you can adjust that kind of stuff and just look at kind of data from certain areas of the season, or you can look at snap percentages, or you can compare that against solo or combined tackles within certain weeks. Or so it's some pretty cool stuff over here for IDP, which if you're playing IDP, you know how hard it is sometimes to get good data that's actually useful and concentrated. So you guys might want to check them out.
Yeah, I love Expanding the Box Score. Obviously, we just joined up with them. Huge fan. They've got a great group of stuff. It's kind of nuts on all the stuff that they have in the background. If you're a member.
That was just the IDP. They have tons and tons of offensive stuff too. I haven't even got a chance to look at that.
Yeah, it's almost crazy to see all that they have. I mean, it's just. I was just in there, and I almost felt like. I could look at this for hours and hours. There's so much stuff they have. It's fun to see what they have. Everything is pretty legit over there.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there, Steve?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just doing the Twitter thing, seeing if there's any questions,
Yeah, I actually did get a couple of questions on here.
Did
I was looking at. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Cool.
Pull it up. All right, I had somebody ask, as your third linebacker, would you rather start Zach Cunningham or Fred Warner today? Fred Warner for the 49ers or Cunningham for Houston? What do you think, Jarod, as your third linebacker?
Wow. Zach Cunningham or Fred Warner? For me, I got Fred Warner in my top 10 this week against Tampa Bay for sure.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. I really like that matchup in general for a defensive team. Again, you got DeForest Buckner. I love Fred Warner this week. It's a great matchup. So Cunningham is going to get a lot of playing time. Whatever. That game could be a shootout.
Yeah.
That Cunningham's in.
They
But
both had kind of breakout years last year.
for sure. I love Fred Warner's matchup, to be honest with you. I think he could be a top 10 guy at least this week in all IDP.
Nice.
So yeah, if that's your third guy, then that's somebody then you definitely are going to look at
playing Fred Warner
for sure. That for me personally.
Yeah, I'm with you there probably too. I mean, especially Zach Cunningham doesn't play till Monday. I'm gonna want as much action as I can get today, so that's probably where I would be headed. I have another question here, which is, what do you think about the rookie defensive back safety Nasir Adderley today?
I love Nasir Adderley. I was just bringing that up. Obviously, we had Adrian Phillips take over for Derwin James, but if anybody saw Nasir Adderley,
that fourth preseason game, apparently he balled out.
And it's not because he was injured, guys. I mean, total chess match.
But they rested him all preseason, right?
Total chess match. Hey, you know what? Slow clap to you, Chargers, for that one, because without a doubt, I was high on Nasir Adderley. I did a whole thing just on Nasir Adderley, my IDP 411 that we will put back on the website or back on our YouTube channel. It's on mine right now. We'll put it all together. Real high on him today. I think that's a good matchup in general. I think they get back behind the linebackers. Not a huge fan of their linebacking core. I do like Davis, but besides that,
he could pick off the biscuit too. I mean, he had almost three. He supposedly had 3 chances to catch interceptions in that preseason game. He didn't get them, or he got one of them.
But that's 3 pass deflections.
Yeah, exactly. 3 pass deflections, but he could turn those easily into catch it or into interceptions against the biscuit.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Love Nasir Adderley. Great question there. I'm a fan. I love Nasir Adderley. I think he's got a lot of range. I mean, a ton of range. That's crazy. Last year's probably the breakout year of rookies in all of football. It was probably the best. It might have been the best draft class we've ever seen. And this draft class is getting a lot of, flack. What people don't realize is more than 45 rookies are starting this week.
Damn, I didn't even realize that. Defensive rookies will be starting this week. That's a lot.
Well, we got defensive rookies, offensive rookies, just rookies in general. 45 rookies. I think, was it 19 to 26 defensive rookies are starting, which is crazy, right? Considering how big of a rookie class last year was. But
how many of them hit?
Nasir Adderley is a perfect example. A breakout rookie from last year gets hurt, and he gets to step in and play. Which, when Derwin James comes back, if Nasir Adderley balls out, what happens to Adrian Phillips, who's a solid player, by the way?
All right, I had another question come in. If you want to,
always
another. This one was kind of interesting. Kind of another snap question. How many snaps do you think Kiko Alonso is going to play Monday night with his new team? This is kind of similar to what we talked about with Clowney,
I do love the fact
he had a full training camp, unlike Clowney, so he should be in game shape.
He is in game shape. He is a boss. At one time, he was a top 3 linebacker last year, dropped up number 7, but he's still a top 10 linebacker for the season, even, tweaking the injury last year. I hate the Saints linebacking core, so he is a perfect fit for them. He's rangy. You expect all their games to be in a shootout because Drew Brees tosses for 5,000 yards a season every year. So he is in a good spot where I think if he stays healthy, I love his playing, and I love the fact that he's playing Monday instead of today, because that means he's actually going to get another day to figure out the system, get in, do some reps.
So he might end up being a sneaky play for this week.
It's just going to be a question if they move him to, if he's going to stay outside linebacker or not. I wouldn't play him in the middle because they got a solid middle guy that they've stuck with all preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Do I love their middle linebacker? No, I don't. But yeah, I mean, especially in a deep league, if you're in a solid full-on IDP league like I am, Kiko Alonso is definitely a guy, and you can play 3 to 4 linebackers. I'm gonna play a linebacker over a DB every day and twice on Sunday. So, so in that aspect, yeah, if you've got Kiko Alonso and you're weak in general, then yeah, unless you got 4 studs, which most of us don't. I do in one league that we're all in because I went crazy in my 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th round. I think I went linebacker. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm getting my starting lineup. So
stacking my chips.
Once I knew what I had, that's what I went for. I'm a little worried about in that league. I think I have Damian Williams, so that sucks.
I got another question here. This is from a guy in one of my leagues that I'm in. He's asking about the safeties for the Giants. He's saying, would you trust Bethea or Peppers more today?
I love Antoine Bethea. He's a
name wrong.
That's okay. I mean, everybody jacks Antoine Bethea's name up. So
you think him over Peppers?
Well, okay, I like Peppers. But for me, Peppers is an athlete. Antoine Bethea is a full-on love his safety play. Look what he did last year.
Yeah, he crushed last year.
Every year he's been in the league, he's crushed.
He had 100 solo tackles, was one of only like 4 guys to do it.
Because they can play him in the box. And that's what – and I think Peppers is the athlete that they arranged. That's why he, was a punt returner in Cleveland because he's such a good athlete. To where Bethea, he don't miss tackles. Never.
Yeah.
So you want my opinion? I'm taking Antoine Bethea over Peppers because Peppers is the name.
Nice. All right. What about, let's, spice it up a little. What if it's a punt return yard league? What if you get, for every punt return yard, you get, the same as you would a reception? Does that make Peppers a little bit more enticing? You think they're probably going to get a lot of punts?
Is he returning punts?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I thought I saw something that said he was, though. Let me double check here.
That would be a great question for sure.
I know in punt return leagues, I tried to get him on the teams that I was on. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't.
That's a great question.
Let's see if there are any updates on this.
I still
this is a little bit older, but this is coming out of SleeperBot app. It says Jabril Peppers is likely to return kickoffs and punts. I don't know if he's going to. He says he should be their main one too. So they're running out of wide receivers, so they can't really put any of their wide receivers out there and risk them.
But that's the same.
Corey Coleman should have been or could have been that guy, but he's gone.
But that's also saying their defense is going to play well enough where they're going to get a lot of punts. So,
yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Okay, then. So I'm
assuming. They gotta get kickoffs too at some point after the other team scores.
Even a 10-yard, if you play in a 1-tackle league, 10 yards on a punt return is the same as a tackle. And if he stays on the field and goes out there and gets another tackle, that's more opportunity. I think in a kickoff, in a kick return yard or kick yardage league, I would take Peppers. But in a just everything being equal, I'm going to go with Bethea as well.
Yeah, I like Antoine Bethea. I think he's a solid player. I think always has been. And I'm going to go with consistency. So
yeah, true, tried and true.
If you can get Peppers in a punt return and kick return yardage league, then
power to
if you can get them both.
Yeah. Here's something. This is a question I have for you guys. What do you guys think about the Bears defense getting 5 sacks the other night, but Khalil Mack getting 0?
So I'm
glad I didn't play Mack.
People don't like me. Every time I get Mack in the league, I trade him because somebody loves him.
I tried trading him. Nobody wanted him.
Because I'm the guy that is trying to get a premier linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And
I got a
people-
bunch of
Hicks did get a
linebackers.
sack, or Hicks got 1 sack and 2 tackles. He actually outscored him in this league that I'm in, which I would never have thought that happened.
the defensive end, I'm having a mental blank. Is Jonathan Allen?
No, that's on the Washington's
That's
line.
Washington's. Who's
Floyd?
the guy?
Floyd?
Floyd. Yeah, dude, balled out.
Killed it.
Yeah, he had a big net.
He was all over the place.
There's your guy who outperformed his ADP.
Oh, for sure. He definitely
And
outperformed.
Zadarius Smith too. I have him in an
Mhm.
all IDP league. He's on my bench with 18 points. It's like no.
MVP of the week right there.
Yeah, if you play him, give the ball to. I've had Savage in that game. He ended up getting me 9 points, which is reasonable. And I had Roquan, and he got me 9 points in that league. So something.
Yeah,
I
it's
expected
something.
bigger things, honestly. I expected bigger, better things from Roquan. Although, I mean, neither of those teams could sustain drives on Thursday night. That whole game was a wreck.
Yeah. It was
Matt Nagy with 11 total running back carries.
Yeah, what was going on with that run game?
Count Cordell Patterson. Like, Zeke is going to get that in the first quarter today. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? Like, probably.
I don't know.
Well,
20
I mean, they're saying-
to 25 carries.
They're saying we want to ease him into it. 2025.
Do we believe anything that comes out of Dallas right now? I mean, is this real?
No.
Zeke who?
Yeah, bro.
The highest paid running back in football 3 days later. You know, you don't know who he is, and like, just give me a break.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's pretty funny, pretty hilarious how they went with that.
I saw AP. It was a healthy scratch today, so
Adrian Pearson's healthy scratch. Darius Scott's the guy to play. They even said he was going to be the starter anyway.
I just have this feeling he's going to catch 5 or 6 balls and get 18 plus rushes.
Good.
I have a feeling it is good, but it's not good because he's on the bench in one of my leagues, and I say that, but I don't know if I can play him over Sony Michel.
Man.
/ there's no way I can do that.
No, probably not. I don't know, man. I don't
thought
trust
Sony Michel-
Patriots backs unless their name is James White.
Yeah, I
And
just took James White out of a starting lineup and put Matt Breida in.
But me and you were talking about that. I love Matt Breida's play.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
For some reason,
I got him playing over Coleman.
Oh yeah, I think he'll do better than Coleman personally. As a person who owned Tevin Coleman for 3 years, I can tell you there's nothing that special about Tevin Coleman. He was really good like 3 or 4 years ago.
I like him back with Shanahan, but we'll see.
Yeah, Matt Breida's still with Shanahan too.
Exactly.
Shows up to work.
I agree. Hurt. You're correct, 100%.
Did you guys see that bomb touchdown he caught in the preseason? The one he laid out for?
Yeah.
I mean, Tevin Coleman can't do that. I don't give it. Don't even try and tell me he can't either. He can't do that.
Yeah,
Matt
Tevin
Breida
Coleman might be faster, but we're talking about a guy, Matt Breida, I think led the league in.
No, Matt Breida had like the fastest
man.
play in the league last year, I think. He had like top 2 or 3 fastest plays in the league last season, even over Tyreek on one of them, I think.
Tyreek Hill's the cheetah. That dude's real, though.
Dude, Mahomes, going to make that magic today. Magic.
So you're telling me I should start Kelsey over Darren Waller?
Yeah. Do I need to tell you that?
No.
That's fantasy football 101. Always play Travis Kelce.
I am starting Darren Waller in a different league that I don't have Travis Kelce in.
Oh, yeah. I went out and dropped Mark Andrews in 2 leagues yesterday, or 2 mornings ago, and picked up Darren Waller.
Okay.
Because
interesting.
Jared Cook had his best fantasy season last year with Derek Carr. Derek Carr, low-key, had his best passing season last year, yardage-wise.
Good point.
Second year with Gruden, I think that Darren Waller – I didn't watch Hard Knocks with my buddy, and he said that Darren Waller was basically told he's never going to leave the field. I mean, there's nothing in the cons column for Darren Waller. Price is right, team's right, coach is right, coach speak is right, situation is right. All of his metrics are right. I mean, there is nothing on him that says do not play him with confidence. So,
okay, I've got a guy. He's got a question for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, 2 linebacker league. He has the following linebackers. One we know he's going to start is Darius Leonard. The other 2 are Devin White and Devin Bush.
Devin Bush.
You take Devin Bush.
100%.
We're on fire for him.
You take Devin Bush. It's the Patriots.
We're flaming Bush lovers over here.
Yeah, we are.
Biblical. Look it up.
Biblical.
Flaming bushes.
Yep. I think, and White showed up on the injury report yesterday. He's going to play. He's active. Great. Wonderful. That's just, I mean, we're talking pros and cons columns. I mean, that's a little something in the cons column. There are no cons for Devin Bush. He's going to play all the snaps. Patriots are going to run. Patriots are 100% going to keep drives alive. I don't see them throwing over the top much. I just see Devin White. Devin White is going to wreck faces today. That's just my honest to God what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take him.
I think he'll
outperform
his
I would take Bush over White. That's, and if we're wrong.
But neither are a bad play, right? Do you think either one of them is a bad play?
I don't think either of them is a bad play. No, not that at all. But I would, if it's my lineup, I'm putting Devin Bush in personally.
I'm
also a Steelers fan though, so that probably plays a little bit into it. So just bear that in mind as well.
I'm not a Steelers fan, and he's my pick to outperform his ADP.
I like it. He's all over the place. And we didn't see what we wanted to out of Devin White in the preseason. That's for dang sure.
Yep. See, there's little things about him that's just like, I don't know. Especially week one, who I'm starting with more confidence is just Devin Bush. There's no one else there either. I mean, Levante David can go out there and do stuff if Devin White's underperforming. There's no one breathing down Devin Bush's neck. No one. So.
Okay. Got another one. Two linebacker league. You have Jalen Smith, Tremaine Edmonds, and Levante David.
I'm taking the first two. I like Levante David as well. I think he'll do good, but if it's me, I'm taking Jalen Smith.
Do you think Levante David's going to be better than White is today?
I'd say the odds are that he will, yes.
Okay, so do you think Jalen Smith's going to outplay Leighton Vander Esch?
He could. I mean, he might have 5 tackles and a sack, and Jalen Smith might have 7 tackles and a pass defended. So, I think they're going to be neck and neck, but I think Jalen Smith to me has a little bit. He just represents a little overall upside because he can do so much.
All right, my bold prediction of the day
is Leighton Vander Esch outperforms Jalen Smith by.
You're correct. Leighton Vander Esch, 10 tackles.
I think we should do like a weekly segment where we do like who's your super lock for 10 tackles? Like who's the guy that you had to put.
If there's a guy that I'm going to go with that,
yeah, Leighton Vander Esch. We're just going to flip-flop every week. Leighton Vander Esch and Darius Leonard. Leighton Vander Esch and Darius Leonard.
No, okay. Well, then I'm going to throw Devin Bush into there.
I love that. And the Patriots are going to deploy their running backs like a hive. They're going to be Rex Burkhead's going to play snaps. I bet Damien Harris doesn't play any snaps. No. But Rex Burkhead will. Sony Michel's going to play a ton, and James White's going to play a ton, and Devin Bush is going to tackle all of them probably multiple times. And
then all the receivers are going to get like 1 reception apiece.
So quick too. Like Devin Bush is so quick.
I think the receivers are going to ball out because.
You think so?
But I'm going to tell you this: I don't think a tight end gets more than 3 catches.
No, I don't think there's going to be any tight ends that get.
Everyone's very, very, very high.
I don't think a tight end gets more than 2 catches.
I am skeptical of Vance McDonald. I mean, I would take.
Everybody's high on him because of one stiff arm. Let's be real.
Yeah, one big play, and like the metrics are there. But he's 29. It's his second year on the team. Big Ben has never really thrown exclusively in old fashion to his tight ends. I mean, yeah, they always end up with a couple, but he's also a guy that he'll target the second tight end just as much as the first tight end. I mean, we've seen this happen for a while. So I think he's going to have a better season. I think Eric Ebron is still a better player than Vance McDonald, and I know that people just love shitting on Eric Ebron. It's like
I don't even get it.
But
last year I was like, he's going to blow up this season. I was like, he's going to blow up.
I think George Kittle doesn't do diddly this year.
This year?
I don't think he finishes the top 5 tight end.
Ooh, that's bold. I like it.
I
like that.
Bold prediction for sure.
I mean,
we're talking about a guy who's being drafted in the top 3 rounds There's no way he
Do
does
you think?
that.
Do you think it was Do you think it was Nick Mullins who lifted him up?
I think Nick Mullins lifted him up. I'm a believer
And there
in
was
that.
nobody else there to catch.
Mm-hmm.
Like that now, Marquise Godwin is back.
Mm-hmm. They
Good
got some
one, not
receivers.
Godwin, good
Yeah, good one.
Debo's
Dante
there.
Pettis.
Dante Pettis, who got who got built up and then tore the fuck down this offseason, but he's a starter.
Matt Breida.
Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't. Last year it was Matt Breida and Kittle.
We're also not talking about their guy that they got out of South Carolina.
Who Hurd?
No,
No, that was he was.
I hate Hurt. Yeah, who used to play Tennessee?
Yeah, he was.
He was a running back. Went to wide receiver at Baylor, and then I'm talking about Debo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Debo Samuel was the big one. I got a question here. My man Juan, he's always pimping it out.
Speaking of Samuel,
AB, Galladay, Gordon, Samuel, Djax. Well, this is easy. AB's not going to play today.
AB, that's the easy one.
Yeah.
He gone. Right?
It's Gordon for me. Actually, no. It's Galladay because I think the corners in Arizona are rookies and backups right now, right? Pretty much. I know Patrick Peterson's not playing.
Yeah, he's suspended.
I think somebody else there was not playing as well.
Well, he says he's got 3 slots for wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and in this aspect, we got AB can't play this week. He's also asking for next week.
I think Galladay and Samuels are must starts. And then Gordon's probably my third. I'm not playing Deshaun Jackson. I've never played Deshaun Jackson. I like guys that make big
Not
plays.
even back in Philly.
Well, yeah, but Wentz has never played with him.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Hurt finger. There's just reasons that I don't.
Yeah, no, you got a point. He's old.
Curtis Samuel.
I love Curtis Samuel, man.
5+ targets, and he'll probably get a carry, maybe 2.
I like Samuel.
But so this week we agree it's Galloway, Gordon, and Samuel.
Who about next week?
But when he says, what do you think for week 2?
You gotta play AB. What you really should be doing is trading AB.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
Yes.
And you should be trying to trade AB and Djax and get Devontae Adams. That's the play. Devontae Adams.
Are you sure?
100%.
Yeah, Devontae Adams didn't do nothing.
Yeah, you saw that first week, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's how you sell this. That's
You
how
can
you
buy
fix
low.
it. And then you